Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Well, we are now in the throes of the holidays. It is coming, there's a lot, and at the end of this video, we're even going to talk about how overwhelming that is and what releases we're waiting for, but I've already begun. In the retail world, the holidays are here, like it or not. And today we're going to talk about two really exciting releases that I've been holding and waiting. And that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, or ABH Rose Metals palette, along with a little mini ABH Glam to Go palette that is being upstaged by its big sister here, but we are going to look at both of them today. And I want to stop first and thank Makeup Craze over on Instagram. She is the one who told me that this was available, and she and I have both been holding it and waiting on it. And I always link her information. She is just awesome. If you haven't checked out her channel on Instagram, make sure that you do. Very irreverent makeup gossip and also fun kind of side celebrity stories she's been doing a lot of lately that are really fun, just break from talking about the makeup world. Just kind of fun little side trips that are really nice. And also she is very irreverent. She doesn't say what she's supposed to say, and I personally find that extremely refreshing because everything else can turn so sycophantic. If you know what I mean and you don't already follow Makeup Craze, please do. I have that linked. She's lovely. Okay, so let's get into these palettes, please. We first have, this is really, they're calling this a fall release, so I don't know if they have anything else released for holiday. I'm calling it holiday. It's fall. It's fall-a-day. Okay, so let's take a look at both. We have the ABH Rose Metals palette. It is $55. Take a look at it, and yes, we will compare it. I promise you we will compare it to the Nouveau because I know that the format and layout is quite similar, so we will do that. I promise you. I just wanted you to take a look at it here in the palette. It is quite beautiful. We have 12 brand new shades. And you know what's really interesting about this, though, that's slightly confusing to me, okay? Because I did go ahead and pick this up when I found it for sale early. But it's not widely released yet. It might be introduced by the time I get this video up. But right now online, I'm seeing everybody excited that it has 200%, almost 200% more product. But I don't know. I'm an English major, so forgive me. I was when I was in college. I don't know 200% more product than what. Because if we look at this Nouveau that I was actually just talking about, it's got 0.047 each in the same amount of pounds and 0.040 in this. So I'm actually getting a little less product. Am I doing my math wrong? I must be. I don't get it. I don't get it. This one looks like it has bigger and more in the pounds. So what am I doing wrong? Maybe there's just not enough information out there yet. So I'm going to keep quiet about that one, but I'm suspicious about that factoid is all I'm going to say. The other one I want to show you is the ABH Glam to Go palette. That is right here. This one is a little more unassuming and a little bit simpler. I'm trying to hold it out of the light there for you guys to see it in the pan. And a little bit simpler. It's very pretty. But it's just a little bit, you know, it kind of reminds me a little bit, and maybe it's just the casing and the color, but it kind of reminds me just a little bit of the Primrose. Maybe, like I said, it's just the color of the casing, but we'll go ahead and compare it. All right, what I want to do is some swatch comparisons, both in studio lighting and outdoors in the warm California sunshine. And then I want to demo actually both palettes. So we have a lot of work. Let's get down to business here. As I said, this reminds me a tad bit of the Primrose palette. My Primrose palette is so soft that it just keeps breaking on me. It was broken when I got it, and the replacement keeps breaking too. I'm tapping it here to get some of it off, honestly. So here is our brand new Glam to Go. I am going to swatch this for you, so don't worry. And right next to the Primrose, I'm looking, of course, just at the eye shades here, if you see it there. Let's look first just at the Glam to Go on my arm by itself, by its little self in studio lighting. Take a look at it. Again, it's not setting the world on fire in terms of excitement, but it's a darn useful little thing if you like those kind of warm shades, and most of us do, really. Now let's take a look at the Glam to Go on its own in the warm California sunshine. And that's where I think the shades are really going to shine, so to speak, and really come alive when you see them in natural lighting. I think they're really, really pretty. But let's just get this out of our systems. Let's look at it, or out of my system anyway. Let's look at this brand new Glam To Go palette next to the Primrose. Now in the Primrose, of course, I only swatched the eye shades. I didn't bother with the cheeks because we want to do apples to apples here. And what I want you to notice is, as you probably noticed in the first arm swatches, that the Glam To Go is swatched on my arm as it is in the palette, top row, bottom row, as it is. And then I'm going to do the same with the eye shades from the Primrose palette as well. So you will have the entire, in the way it's laid out, Glam To Go palette more towards my elbow, and then on the right of it towards my wrist, you will have the, as it's laid out in the palette, the Primrose. So take a look at that. That's just in studio lighting. I don't know. I think, like I said, I might have compared the two because their casing is a similar color. It's not that similar. The Primrose has that quilted cover. This one isn't quilted, but they kind of reminded me of one another. Take a look at that there. All right, and then I know the Rose Metals is the star of our show. We're going to look at it, and we are going to go ahead and compare it to the Nouveau because they are kind of housed in the same type of casing. Let's look at just this guy alone. As it's laid out in the palette, so is it laid out on my arm, first in studio lighting. Check that out and see what you think. I think this is really pretty. Wait till you see it outside, which we're actually going to do right now. Let's take this brand new Rose Metal palette out into the warm California sunshine. Take a look at it there in all of its glory and natural lighting. That's where I think it's prettiest. Tell me what you think. I think you could see it a lot better there. And then, yes, I cannot help but want to compare it to the Nouveau. The Nouveau is in this kind of linen. It has like a little bit of a tooth to it when you're touching it, and this is much more metallic, which would go with the Rose Metals. But let's just compare them anyway. Okay, so let's open this up. First we'll compare them next to each other in the pan, and then I'll do it on the arm before we get to the demo. So here is our brand new Rose Metals, and here is the last Nouveau release. They do certainly have their similarities, but I think the color stories are different enough that you could certainly have both, especially if you find you use this Nouveau palette a lot. And I did, but I gotta tell you, oh, it went dark for a second. I actually do like this one a lot better. It just somehow the color story appeals to me more. Let's look at them right next to each other. Same thing I did before. We have the brand new Rose Metals on the left laid out as it is in the palette. And then to the right of it, more towards my wrist, I have the Nouveau laid out as it is in the palette. So take a look and compare and tell me what you think. I just am going to get a lot more use out of this Rose Metals. I can't help it. I like roses. And I know I speak rose shades. I know I speak for most of us because we're all starting to go, no more rose shades, please. But I think they're releasing them because they sell. And they sell because people like me, and I guess the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I think we all like it. Not all of us. The Cool Tone Revolution people prefer things to go a little bit cooler. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And we are a definite home for the Cool Tone Revolution, who is our group within our community that is waiting for the Cool Tones to take over. And you too can be part of the Cool Tone Revolution. You just have to request it there in comments, and I will give you an official role in the Cool Tone Revolution army. Just request it. All right, let's go ahead to the demo now. I want you to see me put on both of these eyeshadow palettes. They're both very pretty. Stay right there. I don't want to give this little mini Glam To Go the short shrift. I understand it's kind of being overshadowed by the Rose Metals, but she says, then I'm going to give it short shrift. We're going to do a quick look with it, and then I won't do mascara and such, because we will save that for the bigger one. So all that I said, I guess, meant nothing. All right, I will put the names of the shades on the screen. We're going to start here. This is an awfully pretty palette. And it's funny because I say mini because the pans are little, but we really have 8 choices of shadow here. So, it's mini, but only in size and not in choice, right? Okay. I suppose we could say the same of so many minis, like those from Too Faced and those from Natasha Denona, just mini in size. I like that, though. It actually gives you a chance to maybe even pan a shade or two. Can you imagine? Okay, let's go down here to this darker shade. I'm sticking with the same brush, which is a Refer 27, by the way, if you are playing along at home. And I'm just going to darken with this. This is a very pretty, kind of simple, easy palette to have. And it's going to do a very fresh, pretty look that's very work and day appropriate. Okay, let's go back in now over here to the second shade. And then after that, we're going to put some sparkle on it and then get to the star of our show. But I mean, I joke about giving this one short shrift, but I really don't want to. That's certainly not my intention, going into the same shade again, because this is a very pretty palette. And so many of you will opt to go with it as something, you know, reliable for every day. Okay, let's go with a little bit of a, ooh, I cannot resist this pink kind of shimmer. Oh, I can't resist it. See, and you know, you guys, simple and pretty. I've been saying this over and over again, so I'm a little bit of a broken record. Look how pretty this is. Our heads are turned by these complicated, exciting Pat McGrath palettes and stuff, and mine too. But sometimes something like this is just, it just does the trick. I mean, look how pretty that is. And for an everyday look, I get it. You've seen this color story, you've played with it before, but have you had it in this little convenient package? Do you know what I'm saying? There's many reasons why we need makeup. And maybe one of them is just to look and feel pretty easily and quickly. Okay, let me, now that I said that, take it off on my eyes, and then we're going to come back and we will look a little bit more closely at the larger palettes. And now for the rose metals. We've all been waiting for that one, I know. Okay, so let's see. Got a lot of brushes to choose from here. Palette wants to close on me. Here's a number 16 Rephr, and I'm going to start actually with this really pretty pink shade. Oops. I just dug in too much. That was a Rebecca thing. So it ended up on my cheek. But no, it's not going to do that to most of us. These shades are actually, though, it does actually need some discussing. They're very, very soft. I think soft like the Primrose was soft. My Primrose, I ordered online and it was shipped to me and it came broken and I had to have it replaced. And I hope they're careful shipping this one. Somehow I find this softer than the Nouveau, but that might just be in my head. Look how pretty that is, even as a one and done. That first shade there, gosh, that's pretty. Gorsh. What Disney character says gorsh? Is it, it's the dog, right? Oh, what's his name? Gosh. Okay, and same shade, and I'm going under the eyes, just for that a little bit of kind of metallic glow right there. Gosh, I'm really in love. I'm really in love with that. Okay, let's see. Let's take the same brush that we were using and let's kind of beige it up a little bit with this subtle brown. I don't go into these with any sort of idea of what I'm going to do with the look. I just kind of go with it and I go fast. You guys know if you've been with my channel a while, and we just see what we get. It's kind of fun that way. Okay, and I'm staying, it looks like, kind of on this side. Let's go into this shade a little bit here. Then we'll get a little bit more fun. Okay, that's just kind of to just touch up the crease area, since I do need a little bit of matte in the crease, since I am hooded-eyed. Hooded-eyed. You know what I mean. Okay, let's go down here. I am staying towards this side. This side goes more brown and gold, and I guess I've decided we're going to go a little pink here. And let's see, boy, these shades are really powerful, even done with the finger. What I'm kind of doing is tapping with my finger and then gently tapping some more with my other finger. Probably not a good finger to use. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to give you the finger. You know what I mean. Okay, and then I'm going to take that same brush I was using again and just kind of go around and blend. Now, normally you'd use a clean brush for that, but it has the shades I was using, so it doesn't really bother me. Ooh, I'm loving this. It is very glamorous. Is it not? All right, let's take a Lotus brush from Sonia G, and let's go under with this shade here. Why not? Let's just go under the eye just a little bit with that shade. Ooh, that's pretty. And under the eye just a little bit. Ooh, I like it. And I kind of cheated and put on mascara first so that we could chat afterwards. Liking this better than the Nouveau. I don't know why. it's one of those things. I mean, the color stories are similar, but they're not the same. And if you like the Nouveau, you will really like this. If something was slightly off for the Nouveau, you know what it is? I know what it is. I like rosy shades, and I'm really attracted to this side of the palette, but I also like golden shades, so I can go that way. I like warm goldens and browns, and I like pinky and rosy. So it's kind of made for me, whereas when I look over at the Nouveau, it's cooler. And we love the cool tone, but I'm not always attracted to purples and not always kind of those greens. So maybe it's just the slight shade difference in this makes me happy. But you know, again, not to give short shrift to the Glam to Go. Little bit cheaper, quick, very pretty look. I agree that this is not a very special palette. But just because it's not special and useful can be absolutely two separate things in the makeup world, right? I mean, what do you reach for every single day? And what do you get excited when you see? What do we reach for every single day? An eyebrow hold, an eyeliner, a concealer, you know. But when we see, like, I keep picking on Pat McGrath, so let's pick on someone else. Let's pick on Charlotte Tilbury. When we see the new Charlotte Tilbury releases, we get crazy excited. But then the next morning comes, and what do we reach for? Eyebrow hold, concealer, right? I mean, so, and then what are you replacing more and more of and probably spending more on? These basics. So yes, this isn't going to light the world on fire with excitement, but I bet you would use it a lot. This one is a lot more exciting, granted, and I think I'll use this more than the Nouveau. It's that slight change in shade. I don't know. Okay, so here's what I need you guys to do. If anything in my swatches didn't work for you, you know, because I didn't go cross-brand and whatnot, you know, just let me know. Happy to swatch that for you over on Instagram. I can do some different looks over on TikTok, stuff like that. Happy to get you guys what you need. It's a very crowded market right now as we approach the holidays. We still got, as I'm filming, we haven't had the Pat McGrath release yet, but by the time this is out, the Pat McGrath release will be open. We got Charlotte coming up. Got more new NARS coming, eyeshadow palettes and whatnot. I just reviewed the NARS cheek palette yesterday, so that should be up for you. But more NARS coming. There's a lot. And I get it for review. But I got to tell you, if it was just little me and not for review, I would have some important decisions to make, as I know you all do as well. So how can I help you with that? Ask any questions. Let me know what swatch comparisons you need. I am in earnest when I say I'm here to help you make these kind of tough calls, because we're not all made out of money, and you know, prices are going up. So let me know what you need. I would love to help you out. Just comment below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel so that I could keep growing and get the word out there. And I would love to see you all also, like I said, over on Instagram and TikTok. Definitely become a member. There's a join button or a link somewhere around here and in the description bar for behind the scenes stuff and really fun, irreverent lives. We have some pretty good chats. So come on and join us if you would like to, but I would certainly like to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.